with Greg Gale of Nova Home Loans in Scottsdale, Arizona. Greg is one of our awesome big deal level 3 coaches at the core. He did 249 units last year with 49 million in volume. So super impressive guy, really awesome coach, and he's got a lot of good tactics for us. So we're taking a page from his playbook today. So welcome, Greg. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for the intro.
No problem. So Greg, tell us about a tactic that moved the needle in your business for you.
Yeah, so last year, something we were just talking about was really getting in on the database. And so we use that core formula of mail, call, visit, and email. So mailing our database, calling the database, emailing them, and then having our client parties. And I've been doing a good job on 3 out of the 4. We weren't calling. And so by adding in the letter of the week, and we started last July 1, team committed. So literally every week we pull the database. We actually call everyone that we've ever closed. So there's like 1,800 people in there.
Wow.
We divide it amongst the team. So myself and the LPs, and we'll all call that letter of the week. And then we just restarted it for 2018. And what we saw was literally quadrupled our leads from past clients and past client referrals, which again, for years, at least 3, I've been doing mail every month. We've been emailing consistently, videos. We've been doing client parties, movie theaters, bowling alleys, picnics, and pumpkin pie giveaways. And it ended up being the calls that literally moved the needle to do all 4 at once. And we've seen that result. And I think that, right now in a rising interest rate market like we're seeing right now, you've really got to be in deep with those relationships. And so whether it's on the realtor side or lenders coaching their realtors, we got to be pushing that, staying in touch with your closed database to obviously get those referrals. And also, as you're seeing the fear and the disruptors in our market right now are those iBuyers, right? The people that are coming in and you're a commodity on the internet. You've really got to get ahead of that curve and be referred strong from those business people, your past clients, things like that.
Okay, so calling them on the phone, that makes you a stronger referral source.
For sure.
Okay, cool. And so what do those calls look like?
The majority are just check-in calls. So it'd be like, hey, Kelly, it's Greg. I know it's been a long time since we talked. It's actually been 3 years since you closed on your house. How's everything going? Cool. Now, if I had any information in my CRM, which is up, we would touch base. Hey, man, last time we talked or last time we spoke or whatever, your kid was in soccer, right? Something like that. The majority, we don't have information like that. So because we hadn't been making the letter of the week calls, now we're being able to touch base because we did the whole 1,800 last 6 months. We've now restarted it. So that's been good. If it's pretty recently, maybe it was last year that we closed, it just would have been, hey, how was your holidays? What's the new year look like? We pretty much go over the Ford script so that it's super simple. And then that's really it. As the team got more comfortable, I had them now when they're in the system, just take a look and see, have there been any changes in your property? Are you looking, I'm looking right now, you're in a good place with where your interest rate is then, so there's no need to change your terms. But are you looking to pull any cash out, possibly pay off any revolving debt that you've accumulated? Yes or no? Cool. All right, well, let me know if you have any questions. And that way you're just the phone call alone is top of mind.
Yeah, making you stay familiar with them. And then are you asking for a referral while you're on that call?
I leave it up to the LPs and for myself too, when you're in that conversation, like, does it feel like it's appropriate to say, hey, by the way, can I earn one deal this year? Or, it's tough. You got to figure out and feel out the conversation. But we always say, hey, don't forget anything mortgage or real estate related, let us know. Right. So a lot of the touch calls that are at 6 months and a year that we were already making are more around, hey, you remember, if you need anything mortgage or real estate related and you need landscapers, housekeepers, roofers, remember, keep me in mind. And I usually say the realtor's name. Between Kevin and I, we know a lot of people in the industries. Let us know. Like, cool. And I say, okay, by the way, if anyone ever asks you about mortgage or real estate, please keep us top of mind. I'll say, oh, yeah, absolutely. So I don't go super specific, like, hey, knock on your neighbor's door and ask them if they're selling their house soon. Or, hey, do you know anyone renting in the area? I'm more, hey, if you ever hear mortgage or real estate, keep me in mind. I get their commitment, and that's it.
Okay. And you're doing your realtor a favor in the process by dropping their name as well.
Yes. And I let my realtors know that's part of our process. So they know that we're dropping their name, not only during the transaction, but post close because not a lot of agents have the follow up like we do.
Okay, great. And how long is it taking your team to complete these calls? What are they tactics are they using to get it done?
Yeah, so we're using phone burner. I honestly do not know how long it takes. I might have to ask them, but they, so on Mondays, the LP one cuts the list, puts them in each folder by initial of the LP, and then they log in during the week and just hit up the calls. On Friday in the daily team meeting, we say, how'd the calls go? And usually during the week, they're saying, hey, I got a refi, or hey, someone referred us. But on Friday, we get the download. Hey, what happened? What was the outcomes?
Okay, so you're using that Friday meeting as a measure of accountability to make sure the calls get done?
Correct. Yeah. So I can pull the report if I wanted to in phone burner, but Friday we have our download meeting and they know it's coming Friday. So typically all the calls get done Thursday because they know it's coming Friday.
They know it's coming. Yeah, for sure. And then what kind of contact rate are you getting talk tos versus voicemails with these?
That's a great question. I can tell you on my calls, it's probably about a third that that I talk to. Again, I'd have to ask the team on their lists what their percentage is.
Okay. And did you get any kickback from your team when you first tried to implement this? Like, we already have a lot of work going on and you're adding this other thing to our plate. How did you get their buy-in on this?
Yeah, so it took me probably a year to finally get it going consistently. So we would start and then all of a sudden I'd be like, and I wasn't making them, I was having them do it. And I'd say, oh yeah, how'd those letter of the week calls? Like, oh, we totally forgot. And it's like been 2 months and like, and then it's like, I can't even catch up now. So finally I came back from the May summit of last year. I was like, guys, we got to do this. Can we all commit to July 1? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, cool, I'll get phone burner. We'll load it up. Here's the system. I'm like, can you do it? Like, yeah. And even then it was sputtery, right? So the first week the A's got called, the next week the B's, next week the B's. And then the next week I was like, hey, you got to make it up. C's and D's.
Double the cost.
Yeah, finally we have it to where they're on track, and it's literally a rhythm now. And it's been 7 months now.
Wow, so it became a habit eventually.
Yeah, but it did take me a year and a half to finally get it consistent because, like you said, there's just a lot of stuff, and I didn't get my bad as a leader was not getting full buy-in up front, and then hold them accountable every Friday to say, hey, was it done?
Okay, so it takes the two things: getting the buy-in up front and having accountability at the end of the week.
100%.
Awesome. Very cool. And then can you, just to sum up, can you reiterate for us, what's the effect that it's had on your business? I know you mentioned earlier, but.
Yeah. So when I pulled it in the last quarter of last year, we closed an additional 9 deals. So an extra 3 each month, right? Which, big deal. But I expect that to continue to grow as we make more calls, go deeper. And again, in this market, with people wanting to go online to shop and you're so much of a commodity or can be, I want to get the referrals from the clients to their friends and family versus their friends and family just go online.
Right.
I think it's going to take the letter of the heart because more touchy feely. Most people can get the evidence of success out. It's the letter of the heart because you get more connected. We all get more phone calls when we do the letter of the heart over our evidence of success. So there's your proof. The phone calls because literally you're having a personal conversation, leaving that voicemail. It's just high level, high touch. As you've heard us before, it's a contact sport, and it's just another opportunity to make more contacts. That's
awesome. Well, Greg, thank you so much for sharing this tactic with us today. Any closing thoughts for us?
That's it. Just follow the plan. But like I'd made the mistake of only doing 3 out of the 4. You just got to go all in and do all 4 of them.
All 4, and repeat those 4 for us again.
Mail, call, visit, email.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Greg. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.